3, 2, 1. What's up, mi gente? Let's get right into it. This week's episode, I'll be honest, I had it lower on my list, but when I was looking at every other episode, I said, you know what, this is an episode that I should get to sooner than later. The episode is men hitting women. And I can give you my perspective as a male. Now, let me make this clear. Never have I or will I ever lay a finger on a woman, no matter what she does. And this whole episode is basically me, explaining from a male point of view. And I've heard, stories told to me, men who've done this, and it's like, I've seen it in person and kind of, just want to give my opinion and my thoughts on why a guy would do that. So what is this episode going to touch? Basically, a man and a woman, right? There's no reason, and let me make this clear and look at you right in the camera. There is absolutely no reason why a male, should ever hit a female. There's no reason. There's no reason. I personally, I'll give you a story. Back in high school, I want to say I was either a sophomore or junior. We're in this bus, and it was these two African Americans, right? It was this one guy and this girl, right? And they were just going at it. They were chipping it. I'm in the back of the bus like this. I'm seeing this. I take off my headphones. I'm like, man, what is going on? So I take them off. They're cursing at each other. The bus driver's yelling. It's a full bus. And all I hear is this woman talk about this man's mom. And I don't know if she disrespected her or she said something. All I see is this guy get up. And this guy never said nothing, right? All you see is this guy get up. Pop! Gone. Girl gets hit. She doesn't fall. You just hear her crying. And everybody's like in shock because it's like, bro, it's like 4:30, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're in like we're on like public transportation. You just hit a woman? Like, the bus driver I think he saw it. He kicked the guy out. Everybody started booing, but nobody did anything. And at that age, I was just like, did I just see what I think I saw? Little did we know, we never saw that guy. That guy never went back to our high school. Like, that was the last day I ever saw him. I think he was like a senior. Come to find out, she was talking about his mom, but like his mom had just passed like 2-3 days ago. And I think about it, I'm like, damn, like if somebody like literally said that about my mom, like obviously your blood starts to boil and it's at boiling point. Like, think about your mom. You think your mom would want you to, like, even if I would just have gotten out of the bus, or I would have just like not said anything, put my headphones in and just ignore this. Like, there's no justice in there, right? And I've heard like, what is the whole deal? Like, as a guy, I try to put myself in somebody's shoes who would do that. Like, do you feel stronger? Do you feel like more powerful? Is your ego like, does it grow? Like, what are you doing what is going on in your mind that you think it's perfectly fine? Like, sure, have I ever gotten mad at my own mother? I have. I mean, I was a teenager once. I was in my, late teens, early 20s. And, there would be things that you start clashing. But what I did was I left the house. Like, I wanted the freedom, and it's something so small. But then what do? You work your ass off and you get out that situation. So for me, talking to a girl, and if a girl's listening to this, and, if you've witnessed this or if you've gone through this, like, you got to understand that, like, that's not the only guy. And it doesn't matter what situation you are. If this is your guy and you have a child with him, like, set standards of like, if you're going to disrespect me, there's no respect towards our child, and there's no respect towards the woman in your life. Because for me, I think about it, you grow up, women are all around you. Your grandma, if you're lucky enough to have your grandmas around you, your aunts are there, your cousins are there, your women cousins are there, your mother, your sister, like, these are women around you. If you're close enough to, witness them, it's like, they're all there to help you, and for you to like raise your hand and disrespect, like, that to me is the biggest disrespect, right? If I know somebody, it's one thing for girls to get abused physically and get yelled at and screamed at. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm gonna come out clean. Like, yeah, sure, I've cursed out a few girls in my past, in the past, and you grow from that. But I've never taken it to a point where, like, you know what, this girl deserves to get a beating. Like, because I don't see girls like that. I'm not gonna be like, wow, like, I'm gonna beat you up just because I can, and that's gonna make me feel better. Like, there's no reason for what you're doing. Like, just ask yourself, like, what are you doing? Listen, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, okay? And I'm gonna say, if I was a guy and I was the guy in the bus that I just gave you, right, that story, or like a girl, there's so many scenarios, like, let's just say you walk into your girl and she's with another man. Like, she just did you the biggest favor you ever do in your life, right? Because if she's willing to do that with you, she's gonna do that with anybody else. So sure, I've seen videos where guys come and then, they get so pissed, they get so hurt, but it's like, yo, at the end of the day, take a deep breath, see what is going on, and if she's doing that with some other guy and disrespecting you, kick them both out your home. Maybe beat the guy on his way out of your own home, because that's your property. He's stepping up across your property, and I would imagine that the respect I had for that woman and whatever was going on through that with the relationship with that woman, it's out the window. She's willing, and same goes to me. Like, it's not a double standard. Like, if a girl ever came into me in my relationship and saw me do, like, you got to think about, scenarios. And I get that there's double standards, but there's no double standards for that, right? Like, there's some things that you cannot say, oh, a guy could do, but a girl can't. No. Like, when it comes to things like that, you can't. But, like, is there a double standard where if a girl raises her hand, she hits you, she slaps you, she spits on you? Like, as a male, you got to kind of take that. And I would be pissed. I'd be irate. But you know what's the first thing I would do? I would sprint and get out of that situation the fastest I could. Because there's no reason for me to stick around and go from raising my voice, being verbal, and being, abusive with words, to possibly throwing a punch. Instead, take that and run. Just take it and run. And if you're a guy out there who's ever, let me say this clear as day, if you're a guy who's ever out there and you've ever hit your mom, your girlfriend, your sister, if you've ever beaten up any woman, to me, in my books, there's no respect. That line has been crossed. I don't care who you are. There's no reason a girl should ever go through. There's no reason. It's one thing for a guy to walk away from his family. There's another thing for a guy to scream at you, yell at you, and abuse you. Yo, just walk away from that, Be the bigger person at the end of the day and walk away from that. Because even if I put myself and I'm with a girl and I try to be like, oh, well, what did she do? I'm never going to sit back and be like, oh, it's what she did. Hear my side of the story. And this is what she did that pissed me off, pissed me to the point that I hit her, right? I'm never going to do that, because you can't even play devil's advocate at that point. You simply can't. Like, there's no reasoning for that to ever happen. Friends of mine who I hear these stories and I'm like, yo, and she's still with dude? Like, at that point, it's just, I don't even know what to say. Like, you got to reach out and, for girls, don't think that guy who, if you think that he's showing you love or affection through his hands, nah, come on. It's not love. That's not passion. That's none of that, like, and I hate to hear stories like that. I mean, like, I saw it. I can personally say I remember seeing, like, that's a vivid memory that's engraved in my mind of that day in the bus. Like, in high school, I was like, what? Did this just happen? Like, in my life, I've never seen a man hit a woman into that day in the bus. Like, I've never seen that ever. And I was just like, what? Like, it takes you by storm. And it's like, if we were in any other platform and it was a group of people who saw that, I'm guaranteeing you that guy is getting the shit beaten out of him, because it's not right. It's just, I don't know, man. This is a heavy topic that I picked, but I'm just saying, like, I don't even know how to feel. Like, I would never be at that point where I'd just be like, you know what? This girl, I don't know. I think about it, and, for the girls out there listening to this, watching this, share this with somebody. And hopefully these are, these could be words that, could either trigger your mind. And even I did even some research, and I was like, okay, well, if there are girls out there and, you know, they don't want to be known, or they want to reach out for help, or, you know, they want to ask for something, like, there is a hotline that you know, if you need that help, the number is 1-800-799-7233, and that spells out safe, so it's 799 safe. If you're a girl in this situation, like, search for help. You're a girl that, you know, has problems, and you think that, you know, fighting is the way. Like, it really isn't, because one of the morals that I think is you should lead by example, right? As a guy, you should lead by example. If you have a mother, you know, if you have a girlfriend, or if you have even like a daughter, you should lead by example, right? Meaning, when, sure, you can argue, you can, you know, nobody's ever perfect, but, you know, there could be a disagreement, talk about it, and, you know, if there's kids around, don't have it around kids. Like, have the audacity to at least respect the kids. You know, if it's your mom, like, when you're in those teenage years, like, don't freak out, you know? Like, if you're mad at your mom because she's not giving you enough time out with these girls, or whatever you're doing outside of work, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, just always take a deep breath and lead by example. And I didn't intend for this episode to be so intense, but this is a conversation that needs to be had. Use the comment box down below. Share your thoughts, share your stories. I want to hear from you, especially as men. You need to have that conversation and get help if you need the help, you know, because you never know what anybody's going through. But at the end of the day, there is no reason as a male you should be hitting a woman. And women, like I said, search for help because it's there for you. And with all that being said, I will see you next week.